If you're joining us from the previous video, this last one I made a little bit of a typo on, so that's why it ended abruptly. But we have a number fewer than 3. Again, this is tricky and I made an error, hence why there's a notepad here. So if we take a look at this, we're using fewer than, so we're definitely using subtraction. And I even got puzzled on this because it's saying a number fewer than 3. So one way that I approach this personally is to just put in a number. I mean, they say up here to use X or use Y or use A, but here we have a little bit more leeway. So for example, where it says a number, I thought, well, let's just try 1. So if it's 1 fewer than 3, what number do you think this would be? Hopefully you're saying 2. 1 fewer than 3, so you're going down 1 to 2. If you even want to take this further, you could think of other numbers that work here. But the way that you really should be expressing this is with whatever the number is. So let's call this the number j, which is in fact a variable building from the previous video. So we have a variable of j, and this is fewer than 3. So we have j, and then we deduct 3. Sorry, it's the other way around. Other way around. Sorry. Still get this wrong. It's tricky. Yeah, so we have 3, and then we deduct whatever that is. So if we were here, this would be 3 minus 1, and that equals 2. This just shows how important it is to read through the problem and make sure you know what your vocab is. So yes, our final answer here would be 3 minus that number, 3 minus j, since we're using j as a variable. For the next few, this has you writing with a little bit more going on. Hopefully these circles and rectangles help you piece this together. So we'll be reading this from left to right, and then I'll go back and I'll see what we can piece together. So this is 3 more than twice a number x. Out of everything that's in this first problem, what can we definitely write? Well, I know that there's more than, so I'm going to be adding in this case. I also see twice a number x, so what operation is going on here? Hopefully you're saying 2x. Twice a number x, doubling it, so 2 times x. And it's 3 more than twice a number x, so you could express this as 2x plus 3, because it's 3 more than 2x, or you could do 3 plus 2x. I think either of these is fine. Since they're both adding, we can get away with this. For 2, we have 9 less than, so we're definitely subtracting the quotient of 6 and a number z. So we have 9 less than that quotient. So the quotient, let's sketch that out. So that'd be 6 over z. And it's 9 less than that, so we want to be deducting 9. We have 6 over z, and then we have 9 less than that, so we're taking away 9. For 3, the product of 4 and the sum of a number x and 7. This one's a little bit trickier. So what's a sum? The sum's going to be adding. We know that. So we know that it's the sum of x and 7. And we want to take the product of all of that. So it's the product of 4 and this sum. So we want to be working with 4. What operation should be going on between these? Should be thinking of multiplication. These problems can get a little tricky, but take your time with them, read through them. You have that table to help you out. I'll give you a moment to try these next 3. So pause the video, give these 3 a shot, and then the answers will be up in a second. Seriously, give these a shot. What are you waiting for? Try these out. You still haven't paused the video yet? All right, so with these, if we take 8 less than the product of the number x and 4, so this would be 4 multiplying with x, we're taking 8 less than that, so we'll want to deduct 8. We're taking twice the sum of the number x and 8, so we're taking that sum x and adding on 8. We're taking twice that, so 2 versions of it. Parentheses can be helpful if you ever have to deal with the difference of or the sum of. Parentheses can separate it from what's going on. If you even get stuck after that, you could think this out. 2 implies twice, and then 8 plus x is the sum, so twice the sum. So 2 times the sum. This makes sense because of parentheses. For 3, we have a quotient, so it's the quotient of 5, and pretty much implies that this is talking about the bottom part, the denominator. So where this is the sum of 12 and a number x, so sum implies adding. You can write it as x plus 12 or 12 plus x. You got some options there. We're good on that. Keeping in mind, you can still ask questions in class if you're stuck. For 2, this is working backwards, so now we have the variable expression, and now we're working towards the word phrasing. So with this, we have 3x, so this is the product of 3 and x. This is just one way you can denote this. You could have said 3 times x. That's another option. We have the sum of x and 8.1. I know this is a sum. Why? Why is this a sum? Based off of the addition sign, this is a sum. So this is the sum of x and 8.1. We have the sum of 10 times x plus 9. The quotient, because we're dividing, quotient of n over 3 or n3. I'll give you a moment for the next 4. Take your time with these. Pause the video. Just see what's up with these 4. And again, for a lot of these, there are different ways you can denote what's going on. For this one, you could say it's 5 times x minus 1, x, and subtracting 1. You could also say it's 1 less than the product of 5 and x. You could say here this is the product of 3 and the sum of x and 2. Quotient here. So the quotient, or sorry, let's go with difference of x and 3 dividing by 2. Here we can do x less than 9. These can get tricky for sure, so take your time with these. These next two we'll talk about in class. So, of course, if you have any questions on what we did leading up to this, let me know. If you need to go back on this, take a breather, look it back over, pause, let me know if you have any questions. And see you in the next video.